Jacqueline Ruedin Rusch. I live in Lugano, Switzerland, and I am the founding general partner of Privileged Ventures. Privileged Ventures is a Swiss venture capital firm investing in early-stage companies in Europe with a strong focus on Switzerland. We invest in three main verticals: health tech, agri-food tech, and clean tech, and we support gender mix teams. Let me tell you a little bit about myself. I have a financial background and I've started working in the banking industry quite some years ago in different sectors, from private banking to asset management, and I did work with both private clients and institutional clients. In 2011, I decided to become an entrepreneur, and I did set up my own wealth management firm where I was managing mainly high net worth individuals and families through public markets. And within this company, I've started to look more and more into private markets, and I usually say I fell in love with venture capital. Why? This is very easy. I started to talk with founders who essentially are visionary, that are building incredible companies to develop products and services that can help our planet and us as people to live better, to live longer life, or to be safer. And this was really inspiring, to the point that I decided essentially to focus my life and my time to venture capital. And so we decided to launch Privileged Ventures and really focus on that firm. Within this experience, I talk a lot to founders. So far, we have invested in 41 companies. So I also grow a lot with them. I learned from mistakes I also made and we made as a firm, because let's face, it's not always everything going as easy and as perfect as we would like to be. The same is true for founders. Talking with founders, I see there are challenges they face that often they need to have some guidance, and I believe it is also our goal and task to mentor them and help them to grow as founders, because as a VC firm, you are an investor, you become a shareholder of their own companies. So you are into this together, and it is important to grow and elevate each other on this field. In Europe, we have tremendous technology, and we have universities that are on the top level worldwide. And this is why we actually have a lot of startups that comes out from university as a spin-off. So we are not behind of, let's say, United States, Silicon Valley, which is known as the place to be if you want to build a startup. Of course, they are much more advanced, but that's very easy. They started much earlier than we have done. And they have one thing we don't have in Europe yet. It's money. They are risk taker. They really want to deploy their capital into new companies, and they support these. And there is an entire cycle that actually works perfectly there, because each time a founder has an exit, will become an investor in other founders, in other startups. Also, in addition to probably setting up even a new company. And he or she invests also in the funds that maybe they back them. And this creates kind of a circle where, you can just continue to grow this activity and support more and more startups. Here in Europe, in general, we have a more risk aversion approach. Meaning we want to really see kind of guarantee money, I would say. We are afraid of losing money. As a matter of fact, founders are afraid to fail. We don't have this culture. And if we don't change this culture, no matter what will be done and supported by government, it will not change the mentality. So I really think it is key in order to increase this sector in Europe to have on one side investors of each type, being entrepreneurs, high net worth individuals, family offices, banks, pension funds, insurance, you name it, and have them really deploying money into venture capital. This has to be an allocation that each person, each company have as part of their asset allocation. As you have bonds and equity, why not having venture capital? Also, statistics shows that if you add venture capital, and of course in general private equity, into your portfolio, you actually enhance your risk return profile, because true, venture capital is riskier, we all know, but it's also highly rewarding. So if you put it together a portfolio that is well diversified, you will just benefit and have higher return. And just look at the examples of endowment, foundation, and so on in the United States, how much they put in their asset allocation and the return they have. So this message is really to encourage every investor to deploy more money in the space and every founders to contribute back every time they have an exit to the system. When talking to founders, I would say even more with female founders, but in general, they have a number of challenges when they have to raise money with investors. The reason being that sometimes they don't perfectly understand to whom address their need of funding. So they sometimes address their request at a very, very early stage to VC firms that maybe they focus only on, let's say, Series A funding. So it's just not the right investor to whom to talk. So they should probably go more to angel investors at the beginning, and maybe to angel investors that have expertise on their specific fields, because in this case, as a founder, they would receive not only money, but also probably a lot of insights, because often angel investors have already an experience in their specific field, so they could contribute and add value, maybe with an industry insight that founders, maybe if they are younger, they lack, and which we know it is extremely important when you want to scale and grow a company. Talking about female founders, just to give also this perspective, very often they feel more difficulties, because very often they have to interface with investors that are male. So it is important that if you are a female founder, that you are just confident and very self-confident about what you are building, because at the end you probably know more than the investor that is in front of you on the specific field. So when you are in front of an investor, it doesn't matter if he is a male or if she is a female. Just do your pitch. Be convincing, show them what you are building and show them your vision long term, how you're going to scale this company, bring this company to the exit, make them understand your business model and how you will step by step reach the exit point. Reality is, of course, that data show female founders do receive less funding, but it's also true that we have less female founders compared to male founders. So we should also, when we share this statistic, make a little bit of normalization of numbers to really show and compare things. But anyhow, I would say raising money is very difficult for everyone, no matter on the gender. And let me tell you one thing, it is difficult for us as well, because we also need to raise money from our investors, from who we call our LPs, to raise our money and, the fund that enable us actually to elevate you as a founder. For female founders, we have to say there are reasons also why they receive less funding. First of all, there are not so many women into venture capital at the high level position, meaning on the partnership level, where they can make decision and influence decision in their investment committee. So this is one reason. So we have a more male-oriented industry, even though a lot of things are changing, so that is absolutely good. The second thing is that we have biases, unconscious bias. let's be fair, we all have biases, and it's not only male. We also have, it is our tendency as human beings to become closer to people that are similar to us, being on gender, on background, on origins, or whatever. So that is totally normal. What is important is to understand what type of bias we have and understand why we make certain decisions. So it has been proven by a study of Harvard Business Review that when investors ask questions to founders, if the founder is a female founder, usually these are more preventing questions, while when they ask questions to male, these are more promotional questions. What I mean by this is, if I ask a question as an investor to a male founder, this study showed that the question could be something like, tell me more about your plan to grow your company, or how are you going to grow this company, and so on. So I'm already giving you a question that allows you to tell me how you're going to grow the company. So it's really, on the promotional side. So I put you in a position where you can talk about the big vision, how you're going to make this as a big company. Instead, to women, when we say preventing question, could be like, how will you, for example, manage this specific thing that, I don't know, the product doesn't immediately work. So how are you going to manage this risk? So this means that you are not allowing me or putting me in a position to talk about the potential growth, but actually how I mitigate risk. So here, I think it is up to every one of us to maybe convert and revert this question and saying, yes, you're right, the product test can actually fail, and we do have in place a lot of tools or whatever to manage this risk. And as a matter of fact, we have different plans and already have thought about this, and these will not prevent us from scaling. Let me tell you how actually we are planning to scale and grow our company. So immediately you revert the preventive question in a promotional way, where actually you're going to talk about this, and then the investor will immediately just align with your growth story. I also believe that we all need to be self-confident when we are in front of investor. That is absolutely important, and very often female founders are not so confident. So it is true, it is a male-oriented industry, but on the other side, it is also true that female founders, sometimes they don't do their own homework. So they prepare the script, they are usually extremely good when they are on stage, but then they don't have that ambitious and that bold vision that more often male founders have. But in general, I'm seeing a lot of improvement, and I can tell you also a lot of male investors are very, very supportive of female founders. And I truly believe it is key that we work together. I don't like to go on one side or the other. I think success is only possible if we have mix of diverse voices around a table. Of course, I'm not talking only about gender mix, but really about the thinking that we have, and thinking comes from our background, for what we have and who we are. So just be brave and embrace your journey.